Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? Max here from 343 Labs. Welcome to our uh, beat battle sponsored by Arturia. Really happy to be here with all you guys and had some great submissions for this beat battle. This beat battle um, is something that we host regularly and happens mainly on our Discord channel. If you're not part of our Discord, you can find the link in the description. Um, and yeah, welcome to 343 TV. For those of you new here, we actually go live every day and bring you different music production shows. Everything from in the box to out of the box to uh, I don't know, vocals, instruments, hardware, software, MIDI controllers, all that good stuff. We're actually a music production school based in New York City, Berlin, and online. So if you're interested in learning about music production, come check out our courses at 343labs.com or 343labs.de for our German website. I am going to stop talking and bring on our special guests to really fantastic musicians, beat makers, producers, influencers. Two really great human beings and good friends. The one and only Doltrick and Tatro. Hello.
Hi.
What's good? Whoa. Holy smokes. Love that. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another 343 Labs Beat Battle.
Beat battle. Okay, so
Oh my god.
we're gonna stop beating. Thanks. Thanks for being here, Claire and Nick. It's great to have you again, and really happy that you are part of this contest. You guys are both, experts in, or you have a lot of experience, should I say, in making beats and producing. So why don't we just start a little bit about kind of, for those that don't know, just a little intro on your projects, and then also, what do you, since you guys have both done many, I guess beat battles or you've, so those that don't know, Tatro's done Beattober, which is a whole month of making a beat every day. Type in the chat if you guys are if anyone participated in that. Otherwise, we also, and Claire has done does January, which is beats every day in January. So Claire, why don't you start? What are your artist projects, and how do you approach beat making?
Yeah, totally. Thanks, Max. Super happy to be here. This is really fun. So I do artist stuff under Daltrick, so that's my artist project. But yeah, like Max said, every January I do this thing called January where I make like a little something every day. But it's also been good just to be a little bit of a motivator and a little bit of little small pieces of happiness every day. It's like, yay, make music. So yeah, that's the main thing that I did. But it's funny when you mentioned Beattober, Max. I raised my hand because I participated in Nick's Beattober. So maybe that's a good opportunity to get Nick to talk about it. So Nick, over to you.
Yeah, so I think Beattober and stuff like this Beat Challenge are super fun because it points everybody in like a certain direction, gives everybody a specific challenge, and then it's also like this community aspect. So it's one thing for all of us to be in our little home studios making beats and making music ourselves, but for me, what's really important is being connected to a community and having a community that not so much competes with each other, but holds each other accountable, can push each other along, can support one another, which I think we see that from some folks in chat. And we've seen it with other things that we've done too. So I'm big on community, and people kind of know what I do. I love making beats. So any way we can tie this music making and this community together, I think is a good thing, which is why I'm excited for today's beat battle.
Cool. Great. And let's just say hello to the folks in the chat. Space Facts is here. Space Facts has submitted a beat. We've got Samuel Messiah. What's up? We've got well, there's a bunch of other people. We've got Ed Oyama. How's it going? So yeah, why don't we get started? Actually, before we get started, so Claire, what do you like to look in a beat when you make a beat for yourself, or what are like some of the things that you try to do?
Yeah, when I guess when I make beats myself, like, to be honest, a lot of the stuff that I make, I don't really necessarily think of them as beats. Like, I think of them more as, I guess, songs, maybe? I don't know. It's like a little different. But yeah, when I think of songs, for me, honestly, the most important thing, or productions, I guess, like, the most important thing for me is, like, good writing. It may seem a little bit strange, or good composition, I feel, for me. Maybe that also kind of stems back to a lot of like my background, because I started off as very like classical and then started doing a lot of pop stuff, and then now here I am. So yeah, I like I like songs that have, or tracks that have strong writing. So development of musical material, different kinds of ways of making that play out over time. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Nick, what about you?
Well, it sort of ties in with what Claire said about the material. The material obviously has to be good. The writing has to be good, and how that happens over time, like that key thing. Like, I have a super short attention span, so I not only look for like interesting music that actually keeps me engaged the whole time, but also this is not just audio. I know we have some videos that we're looking at today. Is it visually engaging too? And that is one of the best ways for musicians and folks to stand out online when there's thousands and millions of people putting music out on SoundCloud, putting music up on social media. How can you stand out? Well, if you can nail some solid visuals, and then also the track brings me along for the ride, keeps me interested, keeps me listening longer, I'm more invested. That's really what I look for. And that's what I look to do in my own thing. How can I stand out? How can I keep an audience that is one scroll away from going on to the next post, interested in listening to what I'm doing?
All right. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, guys. So just so you guys know, the way that that we're going to be judging these beats is we're not just going to be it's going to be, look, everyone's beat was really great. So, everyone, we would love to give everyone a prize, but we are going to have to give someone a prize. And the prize is the Arturia V Collection 8, which is the brand new Arturia bundle with about
Crazy.
30 cents in there. So really dope prize. Thank you, Arturia, for sponsoring us. The criteria for winning today's beat battle will be we will be judging the musical idea, the production value, the performance, and the presentation / filming. All right. So the judges are going to be giving you points for each, and the contestant with the most points wins. There's also going to be a popular vote. So anyone in the chat, if you want to vote for your favorite beat, actually, Thomas is in the chat right now. Please drop a heart to vote for your favorite beat. And you can vote for every beat that you like. So any beat that you like, you can drop in a heart. And then we'll count the hearts, which will add up to the popular vote, which will also be taken into consideration by the judges. So without further ado, let's start with our first contestant, Space Facts. Here we go. All right. Super cool. Nice job. Sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry, was that loud? All right. Who wants to go first? Nick.
All right, space facts. Hey, thanks for also spamming those great space facts in the chat. Jupiter is gassy, space is big, sun is hot. Very, very good. Very thankful. Hey, cool beat. I like the obviously the feature of the track. I think with those vocal samples. I especially it sounds like they maybe were like one of them was reversed or something, or maybe they were all reversed. That was a cool use of vocal samples though. I also like the intro synth, or the synth that kind of carried through the whole thing with the chords, a little bit video gamey. That kind of built that certain world to me. So it was a nice, quirky little vibe for this beat. One thing I'll say is piece of feedback would be for transitioning between sections, right? It sort of was like intro and then little verse kind of section, and then everything kind of built up, came back down, then built up again, which I think is a good structure. But how are you going to transition between those sections better? How can you let the listener know that, oh, change is coming, build up some tension, and actually build up some momentum to another section? So you can do that by taking certain elements and reversing them, use those some uplifters, some risers or whatever to transition between different sections. So I would say start to think about that to bring your beat to the next level, transitioning between different sections, not just having section, things like that. That's my piece of feedback. But overall, this was a fun little beat. Thank you, Space Facts.
All right, thanks, Nick. Claire, over to you.
Yeah, totally. That was great. Thank you, Space Facts, for submitting. That was really cool. I think usually for a lot of the folks who submit videos for like our beat battles, they'll do a visual thing that kind of accompanies a lot of what they do, but I almost felt like this was like a cool film score-ish type of thing, just because the music was like underscoring a lot of the visuals that we were seeing. And maybe this kind of also relates to the question that Max mentioned just now, but actually, oftentimes I usually look for some kind of performative element, because that's one of like my main specialties anyway, like the live performance stuff. But that said, even with the production, like the linear flow of everything that you did, I thought it was really great. I do agree with Nick. I think if anything, maybe some of the transitions could have been maybe spruced up a little bit more to make things flow a little bit better and really kind of take us on a journey. One of the greatest things that I learned from a video actually by Edit from the Glitch Mob that he released on the Ableton YouTube channel was that oftentimes when we think about tunes in a linear way, it's cool to think about a narrative behind that tune. So like, what's the narrative behind the tune? I think that's always a really helpful thought to consider if you're thinking about development, and having good transitions can really help push that narrative along. But yeah, overall, really great job. Thank you for submitting.
All right, Space Facts. For whoever liked Space Facts beat, please drop a heart in the chat right now. You have 10 seconds to drop a your heart in the chat, and that'll go towards the popular vote. While that is going on, we are going to queue up the next beat. The next beat is Subrift. Looks like Subrift has got some push going. So
we like that. Where push stands here.
We got some push going, and let us switch over to Subrift. Here we go.
beat. I don't really care. I'm just gonna play my beats again.
All right. Very nice. Great job. Great job. Drop your hearts for drop your hearts right now for the popular vote for Sub Rift, and let's start with Claire this time.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you so much, Sucker, for submitting. I'm a big sucker for like push stuff. So anytime that I see push, that was great. But yeah, that was a really awesome performance. The one thing I actually didn't know what you were saying when you were using the mic. I think it may have been a volume thing. But regardless of what you said there, it was a wonderful combination of parts that were put together. So thank you for that. I think one thing I was thinking about a lot of was the expressivity that was coming in from the touch strip. I love that a lot. So really happy that you added that in. And yeah, good job. Thank you.
Nice. Over to Nick.
Cool. Two things that I will say. One thing off the bat that I really liked. First of all, the video production. You should thank whoever took the time to shoot that video with you, like the handheld shot. I think that's great. It makes for a very engaging video because obviously they're coming in and out. They're moving around, keeps the audience visually interested. And then good job putting together an overall push performance. I mean, I'm also like partial to these types of performances too. One piece of feedback I have is that don't forget that in a performance like this, you don't just have to perform with musical ideas. You can also perform with performance effects, beat repeats, stutters, audio effects like reverb and delays and things like that. Like manipulate your sound. It doesn't always have to be bringing in a new instrument or something. And even if you just want to use like map those knobs on the push or something to be dedicated to certain effects, lock them onto certain effects or things like that. So just think about that for a future performance. It doesn't have to always be introduce the next musical idea, and that's the extent of the performance. Start thinking about how you can perform with other things like effects.
Great feedback. Thank you. And we're going to close the popular vote now. I'll give you another couple seconds while I introduce the next contestant. We have Nodemon. Actually, Nodemon is a community member that from New York who has actually performed at our open mics in New York a bunch of times. So yeah, this is Nodemon. Yeah, Nodemon. Dope, dope, dope.
Woo!
Give it up for Nodemon. Yeah, really cool. Nick, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'll pose a question that I don't know that maybe Claire or somebody can answer. It looked like a QWERTY keyboard in combination with this other grid controller that I couldn't tell what it was, or a square controller, whatever it was. I don't know. That looked pretty cool, and obviously the visual effect of the mask or the helmet is very, very cool. Really dope, and of course that like nice dark electronic track. I think it fits the vibe of the visuals very well. One piece of feedback I'll say presentation wise is that this especially rang true during the build of tension, right? The music was feeling so tense, and I was so excited sonically about where it's going to go because it has that natural tension building, leading to a drop, right? But visually, even though you've got the controllers and you've got the helmet, there wasn't much movement from the performer. So I didn't feel like the movement from the performer very much matched the vibe of the track, even though don't rely on the mask, I think is the thing. The mask is visually stunning and makes for something great, but move a little with your music. Like it's dance music, you're supposed to be moving around with it, and that will very much help your presentation, like filming, be even more engaging, because sure, it hooks people in the first like 5 seconds when they see you have a cool light up mask, but what's going to cause them to stick around? Like you got to match those visuals to that sound, and if it's building and there's tense moments and then there's a big drop, I want to see that in the performer.
Great. Thank you, Nick. Great feedback. By the way, everyone drop your hearts in the chat for Nodemon. Over to Claire.
Yeah, that was really great. I loved that entire performance too. Big fan of like anything that's remotely like techno-esque, so that kind of like took to things for me. But yeah, kind of just echoing a little bit of what Nick said. I think a lot of the times when we talk about like performative stuff, like sure, there's a lot of working with specific controllers or pieces of hardware, but if you think about it, we are extensions of the instrument too, right? So like we're part of that as well. So we kind of move with the music, we move with the controller, even if it's like a keyboard in this case. And I think like even if it's not, because I'm not sure like what Nodemon's background exactly is, but even if it was like an intention to keep a certain kind of aesthetic, like it's important to commit to that. So I feel as if it's a very stoic sort of aesthetic with the LED stuff, which I loved, by the way, that was great. Then commit to that and like don't move at all. Or if it is the intention to move, then like find a better connection there. I feel like there's like a sense of right now maybe we're somewhere in the middle, and because of that it seems a little bit off. But that was awesome. Like loved the sound design, all of it. Flow between sections was awesome too. Builds, drops. So yeah, thank you for submitting. That was great.
All right. Awesome job, Nodemon. Thank you. Before we move on, we've got two more submissions, two more contestants, a couple announcements. We have, besides this kind of, I guess we kind of do it monthly, usually this beat battle. We actually also have a monthly sample challenge, and it just so happens, because we pushed this beat battle back, that the sample challenge is this Sunday, which will be Sample Challenge Sunday, hosted by Atropolis. If you haven't submitted for the sample challenge, you can still do so. The deadline is tomorrow evening. So just get your beat in using the sample that is in the sample challenge channel on our Discord, on the 343 Discord. And all you need to do is try to use that sample in a creative way, and you can be considered. And I believe the prize for that is Nectar, Isotopes Nectar, which I think Claire has used a lot. So yeah, we're happy that Isotope is helping out with that. Also, we've got pro sessions coming up Saturday and Sunday with Eagles and Butterflies. So those of you that don't know, pro sessions, 343 pro sessions are 2-day masterclasses with really fantastic, accomplished DJs, producers, which are hosted on Zoom, and you can ask the artists questions and get an insight into their workflow. And then, of course, if you want to take a class with us, you can do so. We teach music, we teach Ableton Live, Logic Pro, mixing and mastering, vocal production, electronic music composition and arrangement, all that stuff. And yeah, we've got some fantastic instructors such as Claire. Tetro sometimes makes an appearance too. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, thank you guys all for joining. And of course, 343 TV is, we're actually going to be on next week, and then we're taking a 1 week break. So next week is the last week of season 3. Can you believe it? Season 3. We've been on air since June when we started 343 TV, bringing you a show every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. European Time. Although that's been kind of a little wonky with this daylight savings time. But yeah, season 4 will be starting the week after next. So next contestant, let's see. A name that I recognize. We've got Huge. Huge was in our
Huge.
Had a really dope beat last beat battle, and let's cue up Huge's beat. Again, if you like Huge's beat, please drop your hearts in the chat. Here we go. Yeah, dope. Really cool. Love the slide on the keys. Great job, Huge. Drop your hearts in the chat for Huge. Who's up? Is it Claire?
Yeah, I think so. That was awesome. Yay, Huge. Huge like entered our last one like Max said, and this is awesome. Like I love watching that, and I think it was very cool and this is kind of what I alluded to a little bit earlier on as well, but it's really great to see that connection between a sound that you're hearing and then that physical performance of it. So that was awesome. I'm a big sucker for like vocoders. The moment that came in, I was like, yay, all good. But that was great. I loved the overall performance stuff. I think one thing that I've noticed for a lot of performances, not just Huge, but sometimes in a lot of live settings, we get so focused on the performative stuff that sometimes we forget a little bit about the fact that things should still be kind of mixed really well in some sense. Not to say that it wasn't mixed well, but some of the really interesting and ear-catching sounds at the beginning, for example, were really great, but after they started going on for a while and continuing throughout the entire song, I almost felt like they were fighting a little bit with the other musical ideas that came about. So if there were maybe some way to rebalance that a little bit, and maybe it could be easy as just managing more volume stuff, I think that would be awesome. But overall, that was great. Yay! Thank you, Yush, for entering again.
Nice. And over to Nick.
Yeah, really dope, Huge. Good job. once again. Really well made video. First of all, I love getting different angles, and I love the motion. And one thing I love about these types of videos is seeing the performer or the producer like playing every individual part. And doing a video like this is a good opportunity, to have your production that maybe otherwise wouldn't have been a performance, be a actually engaging performance video. Similar feedback to what Claire was saying is actually I thought some of the mixing techniques were pretty interesting, especially with a lot of the panning, but I thought a little bit of the panning was a bit distracting, especially when they came in. It was a little bit jarring at first. And to pile on to what Claire also said about the mixing is like, when you first introduce a cool musical idea, sure, you want it to be front and center, but when it's their time to take front and center, you think about viewing a stage show, when a new character enters onto the stage, the other characters kind of move to the side or they move back, so we know who we're supposed to pay attention to. It's the same thing with sound, so don't feel like everything has to be in the same place in the mix, either panning-wise or volume-wise, throughout the whole track. Give it its moment, and then when it's time for something else to take center stage, move it out of the way a little bit. Don't keep everything at the same level. But otherwise, very cool performance, very cool video. Well done. Multiple skills showcased in that too. Keyboard playing, finger drumming, singing. So well done, Yuj.
Yeah, great job, Yuj. Drop your hearts in the chat for Yuj. Our final contestant is Rodney Rumble. And before I play his beat, I'll just go over what we're going to do after this. After we play the beats, after we play Rodney's beat, the contestants are going to deliberate. We are going to end the stream, and we're going to meet in the Discord chat. So if you're not already on our Discord, you can find the link down below in the description, and we will be on stage 1. So this is Rodney Rumble. All right, Rodney Rumble. Let's give it up for Rodney Rumble. And yeah, drop your hearts for Rodney Rumble. Over to I've lost track. Who's going?
I think it should be Nick.
Nick.
All right. I wanted more. It was a little too short for my taste, but that is to say that I did like it, and it actually might have been one of my favorite tunes of the day. Unfortunately, though, some feedback. It seems like computer audio is what we were getting, and then also the viewing angle. I would have loved to see what you were actually doing on the OP1, actually see some, your hands on the keys. I think that would have been a lot more engaging, and especially when you had such good music. Give me the exported audio synced with the video. Give me a better angle so I can actually see what's happening. Those things are what can take somebody from having like a really good track that maybe doesn't get heard as much to having a really good track that a lot of people engage with and a lot of people end up hearing, So those big differences can really help get your music out there. That's why I put so much of a stress on it, because like I said, this is probably one of my favorite tunes of the day. However, the filming, the presentation quality was not the best, but of course we're all learning things like we're prioritizing learning some of our musical skills over, of course, our presentation skills. But at some point you seem like you have pretty decent musical skills, that you should go ahead and now put a little bit of same time and effort and care into some presentation skills, because it's going to help you progress further in your musical career, etc. But it was a fantastic tune. I really liked it. Very dreamy, very calm, very chill. It's just the type of music that I like. So good job on that.
Nice. Thanks for the feedback, Nick. And over to Claire.
Yeah, totally. So I'm pretty much like 100% in agreement with whatever Nick said. So I was gonna say like the same things too. I think it would have been so great to actually see what you're doing. I'm a big fan of like hybrid setups, like with the DJ setup and the turntables and stuff like that. I think having like either, yeah, I'm trying to think what would be good. If there was some way that you could have perhaps angled the camera like an overhead shot, that would have been awesome. I think to just be able to see both, ouch, sorry, the OP1 as well as the turntables at the same time, and the Nexus or whatever mixer was being used. Yeah, I think that could have been a lot better, but the overall vibe, really loved it. Overall, it would have been awesome to, like Nick said, get a little bit of maybe computer, instead of the computer just blasting it out, maybe get some internally recorded sound, rather than just having it recorded on, I think it might have been a phone recording, I'm not super sure. But yeah, that would have been awesome. And compositionally, yeah, I felt like it was a little short too. If it could have been maybe slightly longer, or maybe developed in such a way that it didn't feel as short or as truncated, that would have been awesome. But overall, yeah, really great job. Thank you for entering.
All right, the judges have spoken. Let's give it up for Mr. Rumble. Rodney Rumble, drop your hearts in the chat before we close the popular vote. Guys, if you're not subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button below. Hit the bell key to be notified. We are going live every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow, before I forget, we've got an awesome show with John Selway, one of our instructors, where he has his Techno Saturdays show. And he has Keith Tennyson. Is it Tennyson or Tenniswood? Yeah, that's going to be a fantastic show at 1 p.m. And then on Sunday, we'll have the Sample Challenge Sunday with Metropolis. So a lot of good stuff going on our channel. So make sure you subscribe. All right, we are wrapping up here. These have been great beats. Thank you for all entering. Yeah, really fantastic. What we're going to do now is we're going to take it over to Discord. So as I mentioned, the Discord link is in the chat, and I think maybe someone has shared it in the chat. We're going to meet there on stage 1, and the judges are going to meet us there in a couple minutes. So we are going to see you in about 5 minutes maybe. And for the rest of you, we'll see you tomorrow right back here on 343 TV. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.